Hello and welcome to another episode of Tribunal of the Grid. What are we talking about? I didn't
Most
need to
things
change this.
Power Rangers.
Most things Power Rangers. Well, I mean, I can't even say most things. Well, we can't talk about the show, but we can talk about anything else but the show and the actors. As of right now, my name is Brandon.
Actually, we should redo it and be like, hello, welcome to another episode of Tribunal of the Grid, where we are currently on the strike side of things, or whatever.
I mean, what Lena said, because like, hey, it is what it is. Like, we're here.
Here.
Yeah.
We're here. And my name is Brandon.
My name is Lena.
And I'm Will.
And today we kind of have a decent show planned for you. I mean, like, I know y'all are.
I mean, we've been gone for a while, so we're probably going to be here for another 3 hours.
I mean, we were like already talking for like an hour already, so
yeah,
like, it's probably gonna be a little bit longer, but it's okay. That's okay. But you know, we do have a cute little show for you all today. We will be talking about the ending of this writer's strike and what that means for the writers. So we are going to be going into like what some of the outliers are in terms of like what they'll be receiving and, you know, some of the good things that they will be receiving upon, you know, them signing and, you know, making everything official. Also, we'll be talking a little bit about Hasbro PulseCon. We're not going to be talking about Cosmic Fury, none of that stuff, unfortunately. But we will be talking about...
Unfortunately. Very unfortunately.
Extremely unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's what we'll say about that.
But we will be talking about the Omega Rangers, the Omega Ranger 4-pack, and we'll be also talking about the Master Morpher that JDF actually worked on for himself. So, you know, we'll be talking about those things. And lastly, we will be talking about the foolery and fuckery that is of a certain somebody.
I used to be on a certain show called Bling Empire.
And it was
good job.
Because you know that was Lena's show. So you know she gonna know. Like, she gonna know. And he was a Red Ranger. Unfortunately. What the hell is with the Red Rangers?
You know, like, it's the Red Ranger curse. It's the Red Ranger curse now.
Like, Red Rangers are problematic as fuck.
Yeah, because someone talked about it once, and they actually brought it up to my attention. They're like, you know, I noticed all the Red Rangers, there's always something wrong with them. And at first I was like, no. Just because one of them ended up in jail for slicing up his roommate.
Sorry, that's not funny.
Oh, no. You are saying that just all sorts of casually. Oh, my God.
It's the casualness of it. That's because one ended up in jail.
The little boy that was in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as an extra, he grew up and ended up murdering 2 people too. So
yeah,
you know?
I remember that. And then
apparently now he's transgender.
Yeah, they're trans now too. So yeah.
So yes, there's that, and then obviously, you know, a few more things has been happening with the Red Rangers, and you know, we're not going to mention names or anything like that because we're just not going to do that today. But yeah, so Red Ranger curse.
Yeah, I'm just like, the Red Rangers have been kind of weird. I'm just like, I'm not too pleased with them. Like, it's just like all of thank goodness the brothers, okay? Like, Selwyn, you know, like, Selwyn, what's his name?
Brandon.
Brandon, Devon, Rory, Russell, like, what was Scott's real name?
Ika.
Ika. I'm about to say eel. That is like, I'm like, that is not his name. Like, I knew it was with an E. I was like, why is eel jumping in? But like all of them, they're okay. I'm like, all right, y'all are okay. Y'all ain't doing no foolishness. Y'all ain't saying no foolishness. Like, it's cool. I'm like, all right, we're good. But some of y'all other ones, woo, ciao. I'm like, y'all need some help. But yeah, so yeah, we're going to be talking about this foolishness that's going on. And before we get started, I would just like to say trans lives matters. So yes, trans lives matter, and Black trans lives, specifically Black trans lives, because those are the ones that are being targeted the most. So let's just be very clear. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start off with we're gonna go ahead and start off with the writer strike. So I was gonna say last week, around September 26th, because that was not last week. September 26th. So it came out that the WGA were voting to go ahead and lift the strike. So effectively, September 27th, the strike was over. And after 148 days of just long striking and just out there with the picket signs, like, yeah, down with capitalism. They are finally like, the AMPTP was just like, fuck it, we'll cave in. Like, we need y'all back to work. Bring y'all asses back. You know what I'm saying? And they were just like, bet. So, of course, they were like, well, obviously, we ain't going to come back just because y'all want us to come back. Like, we got to make sure that, we got to make sure that we get some bread. Like, we got to make sure that we get some coins, because y'all out here making millions and we out here making shillings. Like, that doesn't make sense. So, first things first. So, one of the things that I actually did not care for with this agreement is the fact that it's only for just like 3 years, which I thought was very interesting. I'm like, that's kind of fucked up. That's actually really messed up, because I'm like, damn, like, they only get this for 3 years. So they like, are they going to be back? Are we going to be back on strike in 3 years? Like, what's going on? Like, is this a situation where it's like, oh, we're just kind of just like watching it just to kind of see where it goes, and if we need to make revisions, we can, kind of a thing? Like, I don't know what that means. Like, what does that mean? Yeah, that bothered me. That was the only thing from like the whole list of the tentative contract that really bothered me, was just that it's only for 3 years. So, like I said, I don't know if like they're just gonna just go back to the table and be like, hey, we like this, let's keep it going. Or it's gonna be a situation where it's like, no, we want something better, or we want to negotiate more. And then they're like, no. And now we're back outside again with, you know what I'm saying, striking again. So I'm hoping that that's not the case. But yeah, so it's only going to be, the agreement is only going to be between September 25th, 2023 through May the 1st of 2026. Minimums will be increased by 5% on ratifications of the contract. So and then 4% on May the 2nd of 2024, and then 3.5% by the 5th by May 2nd of 2025. So it seems like each year it just goes down gradually, but it's still a lot higher than what they were originally getting. One of the things that they were, go ahead.
Initially, they said that it's going to be a 12% pay increase, right? And it's going to start with the 5% upon when the contract's finalized.
Yes, I believe so, but I think the 12% that you're getting at might be in like the increased health and pension rate is the one where it's the health fund contribution on reportable earnings will increase from zero point 0.5 in the second year of the agreement from 11.5% to 12%. So that might be what it is
Okay.
that you're looking at.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so yeah, they will also get like an increased health and pension rate. Um, and also like each writer on a writing team who employed for a script will also receive pension and health contributions as well. So I'm like, oh, Muggs was actually out here writing on these shows, and they didn't have like health and pension. Like
Yes.
that's crazy, but okay. I'm like, that's kind of crazy. So yeah, basically they're gonna be getting like a lot more like healthcare, like basically having more access to like um more things dealing with like their pension and health and stuff like that. Basically taking care of them for the long run instead of like,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
oh, we're just gonna be writing this show and then now we got to go run out there and try to look for something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's really good. Um, the one I love the most is the artificial intelligence AI usage.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
AI can't write or rewrite literary material, and AI generated material cannot be considered source material under the MBA. A writer can choose to use AI when performing writing services if the company consents and provided that the writer follows applicable company policies. The company must disclose to the writer if any materials given to the writer have been generated by AI. The WGA reserves the right to assert that exploitation of writers' material to train AI is prohibited by MBA or other law. That is freaking awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm like, because that was one of the things that I was actually afraid of. I'm like, they're gonna like use these writers' talents and like train AI to basically write like these writers and think like these writers so that they can kind of weed them out. And
Yeah.
basically, they're like, no, like that's not going to happen. So
Yeah.
now, the writers don't have to worry about AI being infused into their work unless they want to use it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that right there is mwah, love that.
So
Yeah.
something that going back to you being weary on this only lasting for 3 years.
Mhm.
And we know that AI is still a thing. Something scary just popped into my head as you were reading that, and I was thinking, what if during the 3 years they still train the AI to be
Secretly.
and then there'll be another strike potentially depending on how negotiations go in 2026. But at that point, oh man, like what new advancements in AI are we going to see?
Right.
Ugh.
Exactly. So I mean, we're always gonna have this weird war with AI, but at least it's a situation where it's like it's not blown up yet. Like it's not like
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna be too worried for it as of yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually a little excited because I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. At least it's a situation where it's like, oh, um, they're not going to be basically like, fuck, like we're getting weeded out. Like, what are we going to do? Kind of a situation.
Yeah.
Like they still can work and they can also
Yeah.
like get mad money while they're doing it, like they
And
should.
I'm wondering what that'll mean for the non-union work, because they could technically do that for non-union projects.
They could, but would they? Because I mean, because I mean, right? Well, for non-union and union, like they can basically pay people however they want to pay people in terms
Mm-hmm.
of like non-union work. So that's the part that sucks because being non-union is never like. I mean, there's a lot of work in non-union, so that is a positive side, but just also the fact of like, is the work going to be any good, and B,
Mm-hmm.
like, are they going to actually pay you enough for the work?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of like positives to working both union and non-union, but the unfortunate thing is like it all comes down to pay. It's like for the most
Yeah.
part, like people want, especially when you're a writer, like you want to become union or jump into one of those unions because it's like those writers barely get paid anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
unless you're like much higher up or something like that, that's when you might get paid a little more. But for the most part, like you don't really get paid much of anything.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
yeah, but I mean, so far, I mean, they got like a lot more great things like improved terms for screenwriter employment. Um, like in terms of like they're gonna get a lot more money in terms of like streaming. They can't
Yeah.
lie about like oh we're just gonna just pay you anything when it comes down to like
Mm-hmm.
the streaming
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Like they can't
Yeah.
just pay them anything anymore. If the budget, if it was like a budget of $30 million to make, like the minimum initial compensation for story and teleplay is 100 grand. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like you are going to pay the girls, like you're going to pay them, and I love that. Like absolutely, pay these people. So
Yeah.
that is one of the that so far it's like okay for the writers it's looking good. I'm pretty sure the writers are rejoicing right now because they are
Mm-hmm.
like we are about to get married, we're about to run to the bank. So I'm really happy for them. Hopefully the SAG-AFTRA is going to get the same, and then we'll be back to work, and then we can actually start talking about Cosmic Fury because literally for an hour before we actually started recording, we were talking about Cosmic Fury, and we loved, so we can't, we want to talk on the show about it, but we can't. So yeah. But yeah. So what do you think so far? Like, do you think that what do you think about, the writers and their big win?
I'm really happy for them because especially the streaming residuals because with streaming it's been very very like murky waters in terms of what you're paid because it's not like it was with regular TV or cable. um I'm really happy for them because this, like they need money and they need opportunities. There's going to be uh I believe there are going to be more opportunities for like more writers in the writing room as well.
Yes. Yes.
So that's a great thing because they were trying to just, lessen the amount of writers. So I I'm very happy for them and I'm hoping that obviously the SAG strike will end soon so that we can finally, get more TV. There's a bunch of shows that we love that we have to wait for right now, like Power Rangers, which is it's going to go on hiatus, but at least they'll be able to start the writing and casting processes once everything's over, and we'll be able to talk about Cosmic Fury finally.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm glad you said that because like It's just like one of the things that I've been really concerned with just in general was like I know a lot of people are just like, oh well, the writing for certain things they just suck anyway, and all this stuff like that. But also too, like when you really think about it, like first of all, there's not many people in writing rooms. Like there's really not. Normally a lot of times, like there's not really even writers' rooms. Like there's just like one or two people. So it's like they don't have collectives anymore. For one. Two, it's like people like I'm not gonna hold you. If I was getting paid dirt, you really think I'm about to put my best foot forward? Like,
Absolutely not.
no,
That's like
I'm
pretty
not
much
about to do that.
anywhere.
Right. Like, I'm not about to be putting my best foot forward if you ain't gonna give me my money. Like, no. So I mean, hopefully, like it does translate well, and now that people are actually getting their money and getting their due, hopefully like things get better in terms of like the type of show quality, things of that nature. Also too, I don't know if y'all heard, but the special effects people are also unionizing. So like you can't just be basically throwing shit on them and then being like, you got a month to basically put special effects on this or whatever, and it better look great. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that anymore. Like, because that's what Disney basically were doing. Like, Disney basically was like dumping these projects on people and was like, all right, guys, make it work. And they were like, what? Well, we don't have that much time. Like we don't have that much time to do it. And they're like, make it enough. And they had to stay up for like hours after hours after hours, like in the wee hours of the night, trying to make sure that they had this stuff together. So yeah, like, now they apparently they don't have to do that anymore, from my understanding. Like they're trying to unionize too. So I love it. Like everybody go against capitalism. Fuck capitalism. Bring it down. Yeah. Uh and by the way, before anybody tries to check me, I do realize what I do understand what capitalism is. I also know that unchecked capitalism is bad. So capitalism is not bad. Unchecked capitalism, though, is. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Moving right along. So we're also going to be talking about um, the Hasbro PulseCon. So Hasbro PulseCon happened also a couple weeks ago. And once again, we cannot talk about too much from it because it dealt with things from the show. Yay. But, um, but they did actually release the 4-pack that we actually posted on our page a while back. Because that was like a rumored thing. Well, not really a rumored thing, but it kind of got leaked. So like we already kind of knew about the Omega Ranger 4-pack before they put it on that before they put it on the stream. But it was just nice to actually see the figures. And honestly, to be truthfully honest with y'all, like I actually like them. Like I
Yeah, they're
think,
pretty.
yeah, like I think they were sold out. Like I think like that same day.
Yeah, they sold out real quick. I have to say I'm disappointed that there aren't any civilian heads with it. So you just get the suits, and if you are lucky enough to have the Jason, Zach, and Trini already, you could put their heads on them that way. But otherwise, they did not come with civilian heads, so that kind of sucks. But I would, if they, whenever they are available again and I have the money, I think I'm gonna get them.
You know what? It's funny you say that because to be truthfully honest with you, they already kind of brought out the comic heads of Jason and Trini. So if you bought like those two figures, you actually already have their heads. So the only one you don't have is Zach, which honestly I think that's actually the one you need. Because no shade, and it is no shade to Zach, no shade to Walter, because Walter is a very handsome man. However, his figures are not. So I think that if they were to like I would think that if they were to like actually bring his figurehead to life, I mean, fucked up, edge up, and all, I think it would be a lot better because that hairline, my God, like I don't know what those artists were doing. Like I could see if they were like, we're gonna make this like a style of his haircut or something like that. I'm like, yeah, I'm down with that. Like he got like one of those funky haircuts with like the zigzag going on the side. You know what I'm saying? Like how we used to do back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like if they were to do that, I'm like, yeah, I got y'all. That's dope. That's fire. Yeah, Zach is it. He's the man. I'm down with that. But the fact that they literally just gave this dude a hella widow's peak. Like, I mean, they got my guy like they literally like got his they got his hairline in like a gigantic V. Like they basically got my man looking like Kurobara from fucking Yu Yu Hakusho. I'm like, God damn, like they really fucked my man up. So I'm just like, I am so sorry. Like, Zach, they just have no respect for you. And no, they just have no respect. Just no respect. So yeah, if they were to go ahead and bring out Zach's comic head, I would buy that one first. Like I would just use that head for everything. No disrespect to Walter, because Walter, you are a very handsome man, but unfortunately they did you dirty. They did you dirty. Like, I mean dirty, dirty. But yeah, so I really liked it. I know I've seen a lot of people complaining. Well, not really complaining, but kind of like wishing that they Yale, the Blue Ranger Yale, instead of Kaya. So I'm like, I hear that. Nobody wanted my neck, my back, but we got her anyway. It's cool. I'm not mad at it. I mean, she is the original member, so I could see them going with her versus going with, Yale, which they may end up, bringing Yale if they decide they want to revamp the Hasbro Lightning collection at any point. We might get a Yale. But as of right now, it's just the original four, and I'm okay with that. But then they also talked about the Master Morpher. Now that I don't know about y'all, but that kind of tugged on my heartstrings a little bit. Like I kind of got a little emotional, and you can tell that Emily, I think her name is Emily. You can kind of tell that she was kind of getting a little emotional too, talking about it. Like when she was like showing off the Master Morpher and everything and was talking about it and stuff, like I could definitely tell she was getting a little misty-eyed and everything. Because I was like, I'm getting a little misty-eyed. Like, oh girl. But what I thought that was very interesting is that, like, of course, we already know that he recorded many of the lines and stuff like that beforehand. So that was already kind of obvious. But what they actually did that I thought was so cool was they're making a donation in JDL's name to the Jed Foundation. And if you don't know what the Jed Foundation is, it's a nonprofit that protects emotional health and prevents suicide in teens and young adults. So, I thought that was so cool. I'm like, look at y'all. Like, that's amazing. So that really that tugged at my heartstrings. I was like, oh wow, I like that. Good job, y'all. Like, good on y'all for doing that. And plus also too, the morpher itself looks really dope. Like, I actually was thinking about ordering it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, because that chrome, bitch, I said, okay, chrome, that looks nice. Okay, spiffy. So yeah, I thought that was really cute. The only thing I don't like are the coins. Those coins look cheap as fuck. I ain't lying. It was like they I mean, don't they like they look like they spent all their money into like the actual toy itself, like the actual morpher, and was like, all right, we're
Now we're
also gonna
done.
right,
Now we're
you
done.
know,
They
we're
did look cheap.
done.
They really did.
Oh,
Even the stand itself, I personally thought looked cheap.
girl, that stand, it was literally like it was literally like they just made the mold itself
Yep.
and
Hmm.
didn't even bother to paint it. They
They're
were
like,
just
we're done.
like,
We're
we're
we're we're
done.
finished. This is
We
all our
are
budget. Our
finished.
budget went into this morpher, and that was it.
That was it. And they're like legit. Like they just were like, fuck it. That's literally how it felt. Cause like the morpher itself, wow, gorgeous.
Was
But
that like
this
JDF's real voice?
yeah, that was JDF.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna really sell.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
it did. It did. It sold out.
Did it sell
Oh,
out? Yeah.
Yeah, it sold
okay.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it definitely
Damn.
did. I know there were some people who were a little disappointed because some of the phrases that he said were kind of odd. They were like, the fuck? What is he talking about?
Do you remember what
Um,
they say?
I don't remember. I remember seeing like a video of it on Twitter, but that was also during the time where I was like trying to like run from people on Twitter because like people were being really weird. Um, so I was
What's
just like,
new?
yeah, no, like no. For the past couple of weeks, like it's been a shit show on Twitter, and I'm like, I don't really want to be on this place right now. Like this place is fucking weird. Some of these people are weird, and I'm just like, I cannot do. I cannot do. So I just was like, you know what? I'm okay. I'm okay for now. But I did see that video where I was just like, oh, that's interesting. But then I remember he was saying like some odd shit about like Ernie's. Like he was talking about like Ernie's
Nice.
juice bar or something. Yeah, like it was just some
What?
random shit. Yeah, it was random as fuck. And I was like, I don't know if I like that. Like, I mean, I could see him like, depending on the coin, him being like, saying some little random shit like, White Ranger power, or like, summoning the Falcons, or something applicable to that coin. But you talking about Ernie's
Mhm.
juice bar, my guy? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, like, what? What are you doing? So, like, I don't know. Like, there were certain things that I did notice that were like kind of like, what is happening? But I do think that it was probably a very nice gesture and something that was very nice for the fans to have. Because to be truthfully honest, like those coins, like that was the only toy, from my understanding, that they actually invited someone back to like
Mm.
re-record, because Karen has her own Yellow Ranger morpher and they didn't ask her. They just used her voice. Same thing for Amy
Mm-mm.
Jo. They didn't ask her to come back, from my understanding. I don't think they asked
Wow.
her either. They just used her voice. Even with the morpher that I have, like there it's literally just the sound of like when you put in the coins, the only thing you hear legit is it sounds just like from the TV show. So you hear is, Walter, Amy, David, Twee, and Austin. You hear all of their voices, but they're not re-recorded. It sounds like it's coming straight from the TV show.
Mm.
So yeah, like you know, they're not asking anybody shit. They're not asking anybody for nothing. It's like we're just gonna go ahead and pull this shit straight from the TV show. But for him, it was like they actually worked with him. So I thought that was actually very intimate and really nice. That was really nice. So yeah, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, just in the nick of time too.
Right,
I know,
right.
right? Yeah.
I know it sounds like very dark to say that, but like,
I mean, it's true.
yeah. So
Yeah. that's really cool. Like I know, like I said, I know a lot of fans were like, I don't like this, because like, oh, he's saying some random shit. But I think the gesture itself is what I'm actually looking at, and just the fact that he was able and that he was able to do it, and that he apparently wanted to do it,
Exactly.
was just like, wow, like that was something really beautiful to do.
Yeah. Then I heard the voice and I went, wow, that's kind of eerie and ghostly, but also super cool at the same time.
No, it's really cool. It's so cool. I'm like, oh, that's so nice. But but yeah, so kudos to Hasbro, and of course, as we know, like the Lightning Collection is starting to fizzle out. So we may not have too much of anything
I'm
going
kind
forward,
of
unfortunately.
right, which I'm kind of surprised now because like now I feel bad for everyone who started collecting them.
Yeah, yeah.
And now you're like, what do you mean you are not going to release? Like for me, I was thinking they're going to release pretty much everybody.
I thought so too. Yeah,
Like
I thought they were
at
gonna
least
try to finish out
one,
all the teams.
and
Yeah.
like, and it was cool that they got Bulk and Skull out. Like that, they did a really good job with that one. I was very surprised. Like I can just hear the rage in like the collectors' voices. Like, what do you mean you're phasing
What
it
are
out?
you doing?
like, like they spent so much money collecting them too, right? So it's just like you're telling me that this is no longer a thing. But now
Right.
prices of all the other ones are going to go sky high too. If
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
yeah, if people
I
bought it
think
resell.
I think by the time the show comes back, in whatever way that looks like, that we're going to get the Lightning Collection back. In particular, if the show does well, which hopefully does.
You know what? It's interesting because like depending on the type of show that they do, I do think that it's going to be a little bit different. I'm not really sure in terms of like what they're going to do in terms of like the actual toys themselves, because what I can see honestly is that they're going to do a young adult Power Rangers. Like they're definitely going to probably want to do collectibles with it, mainly because this show is a toy brand, so they're probably going to want to do collectibles with it. However, I'm torn because I'm like, are they gonna pull a move where it's like, oh, those toys are gonna look like the infamous Cosmic Fury Morpher, even though the prop looks really freaking dope, the toy looks like an unfinished bunch of plastic, or is it going to actually look like the prop itself? You know what I'm saying? So, like, and of course, if it does look like the prop itself, Hasbro is gonna be like, run us that money. So it's like, yeah, it's probably gonna be a little more expensive too. So, there's just so many things that I just ran through my head in terms of like what what the future of like our toys are going to look like. Because I mean, let's just be for real. People love the dog Hasbro's Lightning Collection, but talking about like, oh, like the figure is unfinished, blah 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 blah, stuff like that. Yes, they had their issues. Yes, they had their QC issues, but and QC is quality control. Yes, they had their issues, but at the same time, when you look at the figure, its posability, it's like just even the way their body molds were. Like they were actually great. Like they were, I would probably say even the best at what we had. Because look at what Bandai was giving us. Like, first of all, let's just be honest. Like Bandai had those Rangers looking like they were on the males looking like they were on steroids. Like Bandai, like there was just no way you could be a ranger with those toys. Like you could not see yourself. You could not see the TV show. You couldn't see nothing with the Bandai toys. Like they were like roar, like the Hulk. You know what I'm saying? Like all of them were walking around like the Hulk. Even the females, because the females look like female bodybuilders with double D breasts. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, what is happening? So with the Hasbro body sculpts, like they actually look like the actual TV show. You know what I'm saying? So it was like that's actually really cool for them to, for them to do that. So I'm actually loving. I actually love the Lightning Collection. I just wish that like I do wish that each wave that they actually completed certain teams before axing the whole thing. Like they actually just went ahead and completed the teams that they started. Um, but that's neither here or there because they didn't complete Time Force. Which is like that's one of like the
I
best
still
teams
can't
ever.
believe they. I still can't believe they gave us damn Lucas and not Jen. That's crazy.
Lucas. Like Lucas should have been the last one that they gave us. Dead ass, like hands down. Lucas should have been
Yeah.
like the very last.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what it should have been was Jen, then Eric.
Eric. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jen, Eric. Then I would even say Katie. Katie, but they like to always do yellows last, so yellow probably would have been last. But like if I were to bring them out, it would be Katie, then Trip, and then Lucas. Like Lucas needs to be last. Like fuck Lucas. Like no. Like no. But they brought this mug out and they gave him his cycle. I'm like,
Mm-hmm. That
bitch.
was
Like
a
I was
decision.
legit
That was a
gag.
choice. That was a
That was a
choice.
choice. I'm like, oh, y'all grind me for this one. So yeah, not a fan of that decision. But for the most part, I mean, they didn't make the best decision with Lightning Collection. But like as a whole, I'm not going to shit on the Lightning Collection too much. I'm not going to shit on it too much. Oh, before we go on, Lena, did you ever find out what the tea was with old girl?
So the tea is Skylar's still currently in jail, but she's a she, and they've been sentenced to. They're on the death row right now, but they've been on death
Oh
row since
shit.
2008. So
Oh shit. Wow.
Well,
yeah.
death row here in the United States is very interesting. Just because you're on death row, it does not mean they're going to go ahead and execute you right away.
Exactly.
Like they normally have people sitting in death row for like 20, 30 years before
Exactly.
finally executing them.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. But funny enough, when we're talking about the Red Ranger curse, when I was looking up the articles, because I was looking through a bunch of them just to see if any of them, because like some of them just say a little bit more, some of them said a little bit less. However, what killed me was the images that they use. So obviously, Skylar is associated with the Power Rangers. So the first image they used was a side-by-side photo of him and Austin St. John as a child, like obviously from Mighty Morphin.
God.
And then as you scroll further down, it was a photo of Ricardo.
That's not these are different people.
It's not funny, but it's also kind of funny if you catch my drift.
sheesh. Oh my gosh. This is terrible. Oh my god.
And then it, obviously as I scroll further, apparently Skylar tried to cut off his penis because because apparently the reason why he killed the couple to begin with was because he's trying to get money so that he could have surgery. I identify as a girl and I really want to go on this program and the surgery. So the judge did grant them the surgery and hormones. So now they are living their best life or her best life.
Well, how good is it when you in prison?
I was gonna say they're living their last
And
days.
on death row. Oh,
Yeah,
Lord.
that is the update. But the article just killed me because of all the Red Ranger. Like it basically just found anybody that was white that looked like him.
That's crazy.
That looked like could be him as an adult. That could be him because they did use his child like image.
Well, speaking of
Red Ranger.
Red Rangers and trans people, because like for some odd reason, these Red Rangers just got something against trans people. I'm like, do y'all like them or what? Like, what's going on?
Where do we even start? Like, so why don't you start by telling us how you found this thread?
First of all, like I was not minding my business because I'm always scrolling. So like I'm just always scrolling Instagram or scrolling Twitter. So yes, I'm not minding my business. And just scrolling. And I see a video that Andrew posted. Now, mind you, apparently Andrew has been posting a whole bunch of dumb shit,
He
apparently.
has. And for those of you who
But
don't know which Andrew we're talking about Andrew Gray, the red Mega Force Power Ranger. Yeah, Mega Force, right?
yes,
Okay.
yes. I'm so glad you said that because I'm like, I just jumped straight into it. But
Yeah.
anywho, like Andrew Gray, y'all. Not Philip Andrew, because he's a good guy. But Andrew Gray, he basically, and also too, if you also don't realize, we actually also interviewed him too. So
He
that
sure
is also
did.
that's an interview that is way back and way back. But anyway, it seems like him going to therapy ain't help
Oh, yes,
because
that's right. He was supposed to be attending
he
therapy.
yes, because he said that he was going to therapy because he didn't like the way that he was portrayed. I'm just
He
I'm
was
not saying exactly what he's saying, but like
yeah.
this is basically what he was saying. He didn't like the way he was
Basically, yeah.
portrayed, and
Basically,
it was
he
just kind of
said,
like, yeah,
yeah, he said he could be a better person, and that's not who he is.
that's
And
not who he is.
yeah, and like, et cetera, et cetera. And you know what, don't get me wrong. We also understand, and I'm not his abuse towards Kelly, his ex-girlfriend, was very much real. And regardless of how he wanted to put it or how he thinks he was portrayed, um, it was real. And and she obviously has since moved on from it, thank goodness, and she's found love somewhere else, and she's healthy, she's living her best life, literally, and she's glowing, and she's a lot better off without him, and I'm glad she finally realized that, right? But that abuse was very much real, regardless of how it was played out, whether or not it be extra dramatic or not. It pretty much with him going to therapy and working on himself to become a better person, to be a better human. And you know what, that is good. That is good that he had acknowledged that, he recognized that, and he was self-aware. So he took steps to improve himself, to be the best version he could be, right? And so for a while there, it seemed like he was on the right path. He found Jesus.
He found something.
He found something, and he looked like he was on the journey of healing, and like asking for forgiveness and just really making amends, and so it seems. And then of course now today it led us to what we saw on social media, where he is reacting to a lot of random shenanigans online, and some of it doesn't even make sense, some of it's weird, some of it's bizarre, and some of it is just straight up not cool.
Yeah, like is the one that I'm referencing. So it was the first one I saw. I was like, all right, whatever. Like the first one was kind of stupid because, like, and first of all, let me just go ahead and just get this out of the way now. Anybody, first of all, if you like, not trying to dog anybody's content creations, like that's not what this is. However, a lot of these things are gaslighting as fuck. Like, first of all, I'm not going around anybody that got a damn camera, got a camera and a mic in like a random place that people go to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like in a random touristy area. I'm not going to talk to you because 9 times out of 10, you're recording some foolishness. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And
Yeah.
you recording foolishness. So I'm like, I'm
And
not
not,
going to go talk to you.
and not even just that, but they're asking such a stupid question too. Sometimes people just genuinely don't know how to answer because they don't get the question. Because I remember when I was watching the video too that you sent me, I wasn't getting what was happening at first. And it took me a couple rewatch for me to be like, crap, I just made that connection.
No, it's very, they're baiting people into like answering a certain way just so that they
Exactly.
can try to prove a point. And it's like,
Exactly.
no, like you're basically gaslighting people to push some kind of agenda that you're trying
Exactly.
to push.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
it's like this the first video that I watched that I saw that came on my timeline was a video where it was like, oh, he's talking about, like, this interviewer was asking this woman about like, he was asking her about government and was like, okay, so the same people, do you think that the same people who did all these bad things in government to my people and all this stuff like that, do you think they were bad? And she's like, yeah, obviously, you know. And then, like, she was like, the same people who were in charge at the time when, like, my who also had the same, who had the rules where it was like, oh, it's okay that they sat my grandmother and people who look like her in the back of the bus while white people sat in the front. Do you think that was bad? And she was like, yeah, of course. And then he was like, yeah, those were Democrats. And
Yeah,
she
I
was just
saw that.
like, okay. And my thing is, I'm like, first of all, fucking idiot. Like, let's be very clear. Like, what you're trying to get at, bruh, like, let's be very clear. The Democrats and the Republicans, their ideologies flipped.
Yeah.
So if you want to use that same argument of, oh, Democrats are racist, it's like, yeah, at one point they were the Republicans that the Republicans are now. They were. Like, they did do some horrible things. They were the ones who created the Ku Klux Klan. They were the ones who were like doing terrible stuff at that time. They were. However, the ideologies flipped. Like, the way that the Republicans operate were the way Democrats used to operate back then. Well, yeah, vice versa.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
like, everybody kind of flipped. So basically, it's almost kind of like you're doing a reversionist version of history, where it's like, to anyone who doesn't know the context of what you're getting at, yeah, you're right. But also at the same time, anyone with a half a brain and who also understands politics also know that the ideology's flipped. So it's like, what are you talking about? Like, you're basically trying to gaslight people who are, like, basically Republicans to be like, oh yeah, like the Republicans are right. And it's like, no, like, you know, like, the Republicans are actually doing some crazy ass shit now. So are they actually right? No. Like, what are you talking about? And no, this isn't a political conversation, but it's the facts are the facts. Like, you have a lot more racist ideologies coming from Republicans now versus Democrats. And I'm not saying that there aren't Democrats that are racist. I'm pretty sure they are. I'm pretty sure there are Democrats that are doing terrible things. But the ones who are outwardly doing all the terrible shit, a lot of them are Republicans. So, like, we're not gonna spin this argument. Like, we're not gonna even try to entertain that narrative. So I was already kind of sitting here like, all right, bro, this is stupid. But then I'm sitting there and I'm looking like, okay, right. So I'm scrolling down, and the next video that pops up was the one about this guy basically conflating child cancer to misgendering trans people. And I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, if it were me, if I had been tricked into getting on camera and talking about that stupid shit, first things first, I'd have been like, immediately, what the fuck does that got to do with anything? Like, the two don't even make sense. Like, he wouldn't have been able to even ask the question, because I would have dead ass been stuck on, tell me how this correlates. Tell me how this makes sense. Well, would you know? Tell me how this makes sense. Well, no, that's not the question. No. I'm asking you the question. How does this make sense? Because, like, the two don't even correlate. Like, it doesn't make sense. But of course, it was one of those situations where old girl was just caught off guard and she didn't know how to answer it. Like Lena said, it was one of those situations where she just didn't know how to answer. And of course, you're being put on the spot. So it's like, you don't have time to think.
Nope. None.
So it's like, of course she was going to answer that way. And of course, like, but this one, in this particular video, Andrew responds. Like, he makes like a response to it. And he's like shaking his head. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, literally, I'm sitting here looking at this video like, oh, Andrew, you've lost your fucking mind. Like, are you serious? Bruh, what? So, like, of course, I sent it to Lena and Will because I'm like, do y'all see this shit?
let's rewind a little bit. Can you tell us what in the video they were asking, or they
Oh
what
no,
they?
I did.
Oh,
They
did you?
were conflating child cancer with misgendering trans people, and
Oh,
it's like
That's crazy.
that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
yeah.
Like, how could you conflate? How can you put those two in the same argument? Like, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, like I remember seeing it being like, what? I thought like I was like, wait, what? And then of course I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, why is he shaking his head? Like I'm so like I was like, is he shaking his head because he doesn't get it either? Like what is that? Wait, and I was like, wait, why is this video even up? Why is he reacting to it?
Why is he reacting to this? And that was my thing. It was like, why would you purposely post this and then also react to it? Like, what is happening right now? What are you doing? And apparently, like, I didn't even know, but apparently I guess he also did another video that also dealt with like transness as well.
Of course he did.
And like this particular video, Austin St. John decides he wanted to like it.
I
And of
heard the
course,
like is no longer there.
and the like is no longer there. But to go back to it, it's like he liked it at the time. And it's like, we also already know, bruh. Like, you had already expressed how you feel towards trans people, but because of that little stint he pulled at a con, trying to like make fun of
How?
somebody during like an audition or something like that, and he was trying to like effeminize some guy, basically trying to make him seem like, oh, he was acting like a girl or whatever like that. And it's like, first of all, dude, like, I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, that was the time back then. This was something that was said during that time, or that's how things were. I don't want to hear that bullshit, because just because it was something that was said and done at that time, it still proves that that's how you still think, because you're liking shit like that. So it has nothing to do with that's how the times were. That's who you are. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, no, like, I don't want to hear no bullshit argument about, well, that was the time back then. That's what we said. That's what we did. Because a certain somebody also said the same thing, a certain Blue Ranger that grew to be 6 feet tall on the show, even though they were like 5'2". But anyway, certain somebody also said the same thing. Talking about, oh, that was just the time. That was how we spoke back then. Bullshit. But anyway, because you're literally saying that 20 years later. So it's like, that is that the time, or is that just how you really actually think? 9 times out of 10, that's how you actually think. So I don't, anytime anybody says any bullshit like that, I don't want to hear an apology from you, because I'm already in my head, I'm already basically saying this is who you are. You know what I'm saying? This is who you are until you got caught. Until you said something that didn't align with a lot of people and also affecting your pockets. Now it's, oh no, this is I don't think like that anymore. You know, like I don't do that. I don't think like that. You know, like no. Like, you know, I'm not like that anymore. It's like, are you though? Are you? So I'm sorry. Anytime anyone does, specifically when it comes to othering other people, especially other disenfranchised people who don't actually have the ability to like be who they are in public and actually be able to live their lives the way that they should, because of other people trying to hinder them or trying to make sure that they aren't able to do the things they want to do. I have an issue with that. I have an issue with that. And, you know, even though like they're not actively, you know, trying to stop people from getting hormone therapy or anything like that, like, Will, mute yourself. Like,
Sorry.
what are you doing? But
Congested.
sheesh, like, you, it's like, bro, mute. Me, it's just like you're trying to other people, and it's like, okay, I hear that, but like, you're not actively trying to take opportunities away or anything like that, but you're still making people's lives difficult. You're still participating actively in making other people's lives miserable when nobody is doing that to you. Like, you don't even have to even look at a trans person. You don't have to even be in the same circle as a trans person. You don't have to be around them if you don't want to. But still, they should be respected as human beings. Just because you don't agree with them being trans or whatever have you, they still deserve to be respected. They don't deserve to be disrespected. So, that foolishness. And then like it was the comments for me that every time somebody would call Andrew out on his bullshit, he'd be like, "Oh, God bless you." It's like, no, stop including God, because I'm pretty sure God don't respect that shit.
Well, that and also
Like,
he'll say like a whole verse.
yeah,
Oh
like
my gosh.
God
Get
don't
out of
respect that
here.
shit. Like, no, because here's the thing. I'm also too, let's also be very clear. The Bible specifically says that we are all God's creation. We are all God's children. So if that's the case, you, even though you don't agree with what these people are doing, and you are using the Bible to basically try to basically give reason as to why you are doing what you're doing and why you are disrespecting these people, you are still neglecting the fact that these people are still his children. So you are still actively disrespecting his children, which makes you the is in this situation. Why is it so hard to comprehend? Like, with some of these God-fearing people, why is that so hard to comprehend? Like, you are actively still going against his children by doing stuff like that. Why not mind your business? Like, if you're such a God-fearing person that you so-called proclaim to be, mind your business. Like, if God is going to smite them for doing whatever they're doing, then okay, that's between them and him. That's between them and the universe, between God, all that. That's between them. That ain't got nothing to do with you.
Yeah. That's the thing that always gets me. A person, how they live their life, it is, like it's up to them. That has to, they're in control of that. You judging someone and you really hating someone because of how they're living their life when it has nothing to do with you, like that, to me, that just doesn't make any sense. And then to use God as an excuse to do it when God is supposed to be love and accepting, it just doesn't correlate. So I just, uh it's tired, it's annoying, and it's just it's so like, it happens so much. It's exhausting.
It's super exhausting. And I'm just like, when it comes down to it, I'm just like, at the end of the day, like, it's just gross. It's just gross, nasty behavior at this point. And for somebody to be out here talking about I'm trying to get myself together, and I'm God fearing now, and I'm doing all of this, I'm doing all of that. Like, you seem just like any other random regular person who is trying to use religion as a way to hurt people. Like, that's not healing. That's not a healing journey. That is actually healing you. Like, you're just basically trying to assume power. That's what that is. Like, you're basically trying to jump from one power to the other. So really, in actuality, what you should be seeing a therapist for is for your power complex. I'm no therapist, but it sounds like that's what you got. It sounds like you got an issue with power. And maybe that's something stemming from childhood, because we all got childhood traumas now. But, that's what it seems like you should be seeing your therapist for. Because, no, like, as of right now, like, this is not the tea. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, this right here is just it. This is nasty behavior. And once again, you believing a certain thing, your beliefs has nothing to do, or should have nothing to do, with the way other people live their lives. Period. Point blank, period. Like, nobody gives a good goddamn about what you believe in. I'm not out here spreading my beliefs all over social media about, like, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Like, no, I'm not. Like, none of us do. Any sensible person with enough sense also realizes, yeah, not going to be spreading my beliefs all over here, because A, it's rude, and nobody wants to hear about what you believe in, because, hey, guess what? Not everybody does. Not everybody believes the same thing you believes in. So it's like, it's great that you are you believe in what you believe. That's great. Good for you. But at the end of the day, your beliefs should never be infringed upon on anybody. Like, and just the fact that like you're being transphobic on top of it is just like, and then when I try to talk about God bless you and put in Bible verses, it's like God is not pleased. I can tell you that off the bat. Like, like you think you're pleasing God, you're not. Like, you're really not. I can tell you now. So yeah, good luck with that. And just in general, like I'm just these, like Lena said earlier, these Red Rangers just they getting on my nerves. Like these Red Rangers are wilding right
They're
now. Like
out here doing the absolute most for no reason.
for no reason.
Literally, no one asks you for your opinion. And
Nobody asks you.
and at the end of the day, you know what? You can be who you want to be off the internet. Not everyone needs to know this about you. Like,
Right.
I remember when someone once said to me, a friend of mine said to me, because like he's a lot older, he's like in his 60s, and he was like, Hollywood used to be such a secret. You never heard a single bad thing about anyone in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Such a secret. And now you hear freaking everything and anything. Like, whatever happened to just the art of the movies, the films, the series, but now we have to know everything about their goddamn lives that we never asked. And I'm like, you know what? You're so true. You're so right. You are so right. Like, we did not need to know this about you, Mr. Gray. We did not. And for you to go out of your way to like make this video or make any videos at all and react to them, it's so not needed. It's really not needed. Like, I'm not saying,
and that's my thing.
I'm not saying like I want to be ignorant to the whole thing, but at the same time, it was information I did not need to know.
I mean, I do want to be ignorant because I'm like, I'm not gonna hold you. I'm over here like I don't care.
True.
Like,
So very true.
I don't care about what any of these people do in their private lives. I'm like,
very true.
Like, okay, I'm just like, okay, wonderful. You prefer peanut butter jelly over ham and cheese. Wonderful. Like, that is good for you. Do we need to know that? No, we don't need to know that. Actually, I can give two fucks that you care, that you prefer this stuff over this. Like, I don't care. But my thing is, when you start saying things like that, and it's like, first of all, now my brain goes into why are you doing this? Why are you saying this? Who are you trying to attract? And what a part of this are you trying to actually do with your brand? Because also too, this is also a rebranding thing as well. Because if you're out here trying to be this super hyper conservative Christian now, all of a sudden, and you're trying to appeal to certain types of people, it would make sense for you to say something like that. It would make sense. But because I'm always thinking on like a brand corporate, like, image kind of thing, because like this is what people use Instagram for. People use Instagram for that. Like, they use them to like basically create this facade of a life to basically try to like make themselves appear to be a certain type of way. So it's like, oh, cool. This is what your beliefs are or whatever. And like, these are the type of people that you're trying to attract to your brand. So it's like, okay, if that's the kind of brand that you are trying to attract and the type of brand that you are and the type of people that you want to try to gravitate to, then I'm sorry, that goes against tribunal. Like, that goes against everything we stand for as a group. Like, we don't stand for any type of transphobia, homophobia, phobia, period. Like, we don't do that. Like, racism, any of that bullshit, because it's all about loving people and like treating people with respect, the same type of respect that we give ourselves, we treat with other people. So it's like, we're not like, we're not down with that. Like, that's crazy to me.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
That is so crazy to me. It's like if that's the kind of thing you want for your brand, it's like okay, cool, but baby, like I know for me specifically, I'm definitely like as a as a black queer non-binary gay person, I definitely want nothing to do with you. Like because non-binary actually is very close to the trans bracket. So like I'm very much like I want nothing to do with you. Like I mean absolutely nothing. Like I'm 100% like if I had the biggest fuck you right now, it would definitely be that for me. Like it's just like I'm good on you. Like no, that has me completely repulsed. Um and also, and I've said this before on our show plenty of times, like if that's what you believe in, that's how you feel, like go join any other podcast, go listen to any other group that is, all for that kind of stuff. Because there are people in our fandom who they are like, yeah, men need to be men. And stuff like that. If they got podcasts, go listen to them. Like, if you are into bigoted foolishness, go listen to them. Like, it's fine. But over here, we ain't doing that. Like, that's just that is a very touchy thing. If you want to really get on my bad side, do some foolishness like that. Which I get so heated. I'm like Beyonce in here heated. Speaking of, oh my gosh, on a lighter note, like Will, you went to go see Beyonce. What was your experience like?
Oh my God. This is the first time I ever saw her um in person. And it was, oh man, to see her in person, I think that people who don't understand the hype or get the hype, they would seeing her in person. Her voice, oh my God. Like to hear that voice and to see her dancing as hard as she does, and she still sounds like that, and you can tell that it's live. Like that is just amazing. That hard work that that woman has been putting in since she was a child, like it really did pay off, and her show is just amazing. Like she's such a natural performer. She's so good with working the crowd. Her starting the show off with Dangerously in Love, like even though it was a like a football stadium, it really did feel like she was singing to each one of us individually, and it was an emotional moment because I've been listening to her since I was what, like 7 or 8 years old. So like it's just like it was just so surreal to actually see her. It was a great experience I had with my best friend who I hadn't seen in a while. So it was great. I loved it. It was such a fun night.
Oh,
Oh my God.
well,
Speaking,
hopefully you get to see her, Lena. Hopefully she does go to freaking
honestly,
Canada.
I'm not a big Beyonce fan.
How
So
dare you?
I'm totally okay with not seeing her. However,
Oh, rude.
how no, no. I don't dislike her. I'm not a Beyonce fan. But however, Will and I did go see a Becky G concert together.
Oh shit, we
That
totally did. I totally forgot about
yeah.
that.
So
Yes, that was about what, like 3 weeks ago?
yeah, just about yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, me and Lena finally met each other.
Oh my gosh. And I did not even know this.
You didn't know
Oh,
it.
you
Rude.
didn't?
It was in the
No.
chat.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was in the chat because I asked Will like on our chat, um, because I knew Philly was close to like New York, so I was like, okay, there's a greater chance he can come with me to the concert, right? So I'd ask him in the chat initially, and we exchanged a couple words, and then we took it to our own private chat to set up the rest of the details. But it started
Yeah, did not
in
know.
yeah. Yeah, so we officially met in New York, and well, when I picked him up from his work, that's when we officially met. But but yeah, so we met, we saw a Becky G concert, and like it was her first headlining tour, and it was good. Like it was good. Like I would say it was slow in the beginning, and we got hit with our second. It was the second show of her headlining tour. So she decided that she was going to release a bunch of new music that no one knew. So the first half of like, and it was like super
Oh.
slow and like sad and like, you know, like it's her breakup era apparently because, and so it was really slow in the beginning, and all of us were just kind of like, whatever, we're just vibing at this point. But when she sung two of Selena's songs, the couple in front of us were dry humping and having a full on made up.
Oh wow, yes they were.
Whoa.
Was like, I don't know what to focus on because like they're literally right in front of us. It's not even like we're not minding our own business. They were directly in front of us.
Yeah.
Like just doing their thing, just doing
Those
their.
those gentlemen were having a lovely time.
They really were.
Well,
They
shit. They
really.
said as we should. Like,
Yeah.
let's have ourselves a great time.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So yeah, so overall it was a decent concert. The only thing I would say is like she's very much on about how like she is from two world, she's Latina and she's American and stuff like that and so forth and so forth and like but she spoke mostly in Spanish at the show. I may have felt a little left out and but nonetheless it was a great show in the end.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun. She's a good performer. She's been doing that her whole life.
Yeah. Since like the YouTube days, like,
Like before that, we like it was so cool. She had her setup was really cool. There was this huge screen in the background that played footage of her performing when she was like 7.
Super
oh
As
wow.
Selena, as
yeah.
Selena. And then she had like, how would you describe it? It was almost like blocks,
It
and
was
then
like it
she
was
could like go.
I would say it was more like so the tour was called My Home. My Home is Your Home, right? In Spanish. And so it for me it kind of resembles like a home in a way. So it was like these
Okay, that makes okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
like so it was like these blocks that she's coming out of. But the way that they laid out and the background, the way it looked like it was basically like a home, like a modern day home and you were like basically invited to her home and she's giving us a performance.
Hmm. And it was cool because like there was down on the stage they were performing, and like you could actually go inside of the house, and then you could go up steps up.
Yeah.
There were on both sides there were
Mhm.
steps, and you could go up, and they were performing up top as well.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool,
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then like the place
and
that
it changed colors.
yeah, it changes color. Yeah, it was changing color. And the vendor that she had at is the theater. So it was very nice, very well put
Hmm.
together. I
Intimate.
very intimate, exactly, very intimate. I just wish she had a opener, but she had this DJ that was playing for like a good hour, and every time he made it seem like Becky was gonna come out, Becky doesn't.
Wasn't it her cousin?
I don't know who he was, if I'm being honest. It probably was her cousin, because Becky's very much like about hiring her family to do literally everything and anything. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was her cousin.
She better be giving her cousin word. She said, if I'm gonna work, everybody gonna work. Everybody gonna get a piece of this money.
Pretty much, right? She really said, "My home is your home," right? Like literally. So
Period.
period. So yeah, no, I was telling Will because like obviously I follow Becky very closely. I was personally a little disappointed because the performance, the stage, and the outfits were the exact same ones as the ones that she used for Coachella. And it was the same
Oh.
stage, but I think maybe smaller because Coachella is huge, right? So they might have made
Right.
a bigger stage for Coachella, but the one that she was traveling with was definitely a lot smaller. But I was kind of bummed that it was like pretty much the same outfit, same layout of the concert. And overall, like, I guess in a way, I guess what I'm trying to say is like it felt like she rushed into getting her own headlining concert, which is great, good, nothing wrong with that. But there wasn't a lot of new details that were planned, and it
I
seems
guess you
like
said you got to start from somewhere.
pretty much because now if you look at on tour, it's the exact like you can't tell which concert that was because it's the exact same outfit on all her tours. Everywhere she stopped, it was the exact same outfit, the exact same two outfit, the pink,
Two outfits, yeah.
yeah, the pink uh bra with
Kind of
the
like it's kind of like a cowgirl thing.
yeah,
Cowgirl hat, the chaps, the bra, and like a little jacket. I
yes,
think.
yes. And then
And the
she
second one was
Okay.
like a port oh, excuse me. What was it?
like I
Was it
feel
like American red, white, and blue?
that's what it looked like. That's what it honestly looked like. It looked like she's in like a marching band kind of style outfit.
I was happy for the costume change.
Me too.
Marching band?
It looked kind of like a marching band, but I don't think it is. Like it's long sleeve. It has like a slit on the side, and it obviously ends like right below, like right above her booty. She has boots with it, and it's blue, white, and red. I don't know at this point because I was expecting her to have way more of an outfit change, and she didn't. And it was like just two outfits, and it's the exact same two outfits on all her concerts so far.
Got you. I mean, that makes sense, but also too, like, I mean, I wouldn't really expect I mean, Becky to me is still to me a very new artist.
True. Very
So
true.
Mhm.
like I wouldn't and like she's just now headlining now too. So it's like I wouldn't expect her to come out like on Beyonce's level, coming out with like different outfits every night. Wouldn't
No,
expect that.
no, no,
But
for
also
sure. But
too, I see what you're saying for sure. Like I
like,
definitely understand. And also too, her style is very like it's really cute. It's dummy cute, but like it's
yeah,
also very simple.
it is.
Like
It is.
it's very simple, and I think it's also very akin to Selena. Like you
Yeah,
can tell, I can definitely see there's a Selena influence in her
yes.
too.
Yes.
So
She
like I
pushes
actually like
she
it. I like it a
she
lot.
put she I do like them too. I think my own thing is I was saying to Will too is like she does attribute a good like image. Like I feel like she kind of is following Selena's footstep, and because she brought it up at some point during the concert where she's like, the one thing I with Selena is like she was very huge on her interaction with her fans, and her fans are everything to her. And it's almost like while she's saying this, it was like it was almost like she's saying she needs to be like that because Selena's like that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm sure that's not what she's trying to say, but that was how I perceived it, right? And then of course she talks about how like, coming from two different worlds where like when I'm in Mexico, I'm not Mexican because I'm an American, but when I'm in America, I'm Mexican, but I'm in America. So like she's like, wherever I go, I had to give up parts of me. And like I don't she goes on about that, right? And so I thought was interesting that for someone who really wants to embrace both sides of her, she mostly spoke in Spanish the entire time.
Oh wow.
And we don't like the parts I did understand were the parts I just told you, which is not a lot of it.
Wow.
So, and then she did majority of the concert in Spanish also. And so, and again, and also because before you say anything, Will also brought it up. Will's like, well, what if she's not? No, 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 no. I can pull up all the English songs that she recently released within the past 5 years, and she released quite a bit of it.
And she decided I'm gonna do everything in Spanish.
And she released a bunch of new songs in Spanish. Also,
Nah.
She did like an encore, and at the end it was the
shower.
shower song,
Yeah,
singing in the shower.
yeah, dancing, singing in the shower. No, dancing in the
Shower.
mirror, singing in the shower. Yeah, like her famous
Mhm.
song, "Shower." She only did the
Mm-hmm.
one,
Mhm.
yeah, the one English song. Yeah, she
I
did the
mean,
one
most
English
of
song.
Becky G's stuff I only know is in Spanish.
Well, see, that's the
honestly.
thing. She has a bunch that it's not in Spanish. She has Suited, the one with RJ in the background as her DJ
Oh.
with Montana. That's in English. She has Can't Get Enough, Can't Stop Dancing in English, which are older. They are her older stuff. She has what is it? She has Lost in the Middle in English with Kane Brown. She has Zooted Chicken Noodle Soup. She has Loving So Hard, Break a Sweat. Obviously, there's Becky from the Block. She never did that song, which I was kind of surprised because that was her that was one of her songs that really got her popular. And J-Lo was in that music video, right? So it's just like, what? The song I'm talking about is called Next to You. That one's also a really good one too. If I had to rate the concert, it was like 2.5 to 3. I was expecting a
Uh,
little bit more.
out of
Out of
5?
5. Yeah, out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Well, that doesn't sound good.
Well, I had fun.
Yeah. No, wait, no, I did have fun
I
also.
like I
Go ahead.
like the crowd's interaction. The
Mhm.
crowd was really into it and singing along. Well,
They were.
not so much the first couple of songs because they were brand new and nobody knew them. But
Yeah.
like for the ones that they did know, they were really,
They were really, yeah.
really hype.
Yeah, they were. And then that's what kind of bummed me out that she started so slow with like songs that no one knew either. I'm like, Becky, you could have just introduced them first and then play them into your list. You know, you could have done any other songs.
Yeah, that's kind of odd. Like I like the only person who's effectively done that for me is like when Britney Spears did that one time. I believe she did that. Was it a concert or was it like on an award show? But like she introduced like a brand new song that no one has ever heard, and immediately everybody just went to go and download it. Like immediately, like it was like one of the craziest things that could have ever happened. So it's
Wow.
like it's rare that people do stuff like that. So
Yeah.
so it's kind of interesting that she
Especially,
decided that she was going to do
yeah.
that.
Especially nowadays too, because like I you can totally see the energy too, where like when she started singing her first few songs that no one knew, everyone just kind of sat down.
Oh,
Everyone's like, I don't know what to do with our lives right now because like we came to sing along and we were not singing along.
oh no.
Like you can tell because I even sat down. Will's like, I'm fucking cold. I'm sitting down.
It was cold as hell in there.
Oh no.
So like, yeah, it was, yeah, like I think that's what it was for me too. It was just like I was like, wow, like it was cold, and like and she did, but and they were slow songs too, so they weren't even like songs where you can actually stand up and bop your head to. And it was like a
That's
few.
what sucks. They're slow songs too.
Exactly.
It's
They were,
like
and there was like a few. They she had a whole. Where's it called? Well, like she had a whole band that came out. What are they called?
like a
Maybe.
mariachi band.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Oh wow.
It was beautiful, but like they were all doing slow songs, and it was like I felt like 3 to 5 songs. If I'm being serious with you, it felt forever because like she's doing the whole entire thing, and no one knew the words to it, so people were just kind of like, I guess, and I understood why she did it because she decided to bring them on stage one time, right? So she was like, okay, let's do this one time, right?
Mm.
But then so it felt really long for us to be sitting there being like, okay, so now what? There was one guy though, we don't know how to him at the beginning of the show. He was behind Will and I, and they kept yelling like, Becky, play Selena, like, and then he's
Yeah, I remember
yeah,
that.
some song. He said some song in Spanish that we don't know. I'm sure we know the song, but I just don't know how to say it in Spanish, right? And they kept
Wait, so it
screaming.
was a Selena song?
It was a Selena song, yeah.
Oh
I was
wow. I
Wasn't
like,
he
wonder what
like
song it
requesting her to
was.
sing other songs?
I wonder what
Becky,
song
do
it
blah
was.
blah blah blah.
overall, Will, how would you rate the concert?
Um, I I wouldn't give it as low as a 2.5. I would think like a 3 because I really did enjoy it. And it was crazy to be in her presence because
I
I
was.
watched her as a Power Ranger before. I
It
never
was
thought that I would go to one of her concerts.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, so you guys got to see each other, and you also got to see a Power Ranger in concert. Well, next
We
Power Ranger in concert. So
right.
that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, so conclusion, it was a great ending. We got to see each other, and we got to see a Becky G concert. So hopefully, all three of us can meet up soon for hopefully Power Morphicon or something else.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Well, yes. Hopefully something like that happens soon. Because
Right.
literally, like, Will pops up in freaking LA when I'm not available.
Right. I
So I'm
was
just
like,
like,
what? But you also got to see Beyonce though. How was your experience?
oh my gosh, the most magical thing I have ever seen in my life. And I've seen her before. I've seen her twice. But like this concert just did something for me. Um like it was just this experience that oh my God, like it was just probably one of the best experiences I've ever had. Like it was like it almost kind of felt like she was inviting you into like a party that she was hosting, and you just got to see all of like the fabulousness in this party. Like it was just like I don't know, like it was just so it was a concert, but it was also an intimate experience. So I felt like she literally was giving an intimate experience to everybody that was there. Like she made it so personal, at least for me. Like I felt like she made it so personal to everybody. Like everybody was having their own experience. Even though we were all together, like we're all having our own individualized experience. I mean, I know like there were certain things that were hitting me that didn't hit my best friend the way that it hit me. But there were things that happened for him that was like hitting him. And I'm like, oh, child, you going through over there. Like, you know, it was just like we were all just like having a moment while also having our own personal moments. And it was just like the most fun I think I've had in a concert in a very long time. And also, my feet were killing me because I was walking in there in heels. So by the time it was over,
And here?
like,
Ooh.
yeah, I was wearing heels.
Ooh.
So yeah, my feet were killing me, and I was like, I need to go sit down. But like they didn't start hurting until basically the end of the concert.
Well,
So they lasted, you know, lasted for the full day, for the full night. But yeah, by the end of that concert, I was like, tip, tip, tip on hardwood floors, literally. I was like, ooh, yes, like I gotta go sit down because my feet hurt. But yeah, like it was such a great show. It was such a great show. A lot of people were like basically trying to stop and take pictures with me. I'm pretty sure I'm on the internet. Like I'm pretty sure I am.
Well, you are on the internet.
No, I mean like aside from my page, like I'm pretty sure I'm on the internet with other people because like people were stopping me and was like, "Oh my God, like I love your outfit.
Watch, you're gonna end up
I
on
want to take a
Pinterest
picture."
under
No,
Beyonce.
seriously.
Pinterest Beyonce
Seriously.
outfits.
Because
you
I'm
might be
like,
in her movie.
I might be. I don't know. I don't know. Like it was crazy. Like the way people just kept like stopping me and was like, "Oh my God, you look amazing." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." It was just like a little
It was
bodysuit, you
amazing.
know.
Oh, your outfit was slaying.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
I was
But when
like,
I tell
wow.
you, it
You,
was
I,
worth it.
you know what's funny? When I saw it, I was like, it looks like it's going to a Beyonce concert because it was giving Beyonce. And then I was like, oh
Well,
shit,
I'm
he's going
glad
to.
I literally fit the bill. Like, I'm glad it was perfect.
I was like, oh shit, it is Beyonce. Never mind. Good thing I did send a comment about it.
Oh my god.
Okay. I mean, you would have been right.
No, but it
You
was just
definitely would have been
I was
right.
like, damn. Oh, you were slaying. You were slaying. That outfit was dead on.
Had the legs out.
Yes, I did. And it was worth it because when I tell you it was hot, even though like it was definitely cold because we were in San Francisco, like the night ended up becoming colder. but still, like that area was hot. Like the energy was high, and it was just so warm. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's really cozy, but also I'm burning up. So I'm kind of glad that I was basically out there with just like a bodysuit on. So it was cool. It was a great experience. It was definitely a great experience. But, we're not going to keep you guys anymore. You have listened to us ramble about concerts now.
I mean, we gotta catch you guys up, and that was what we were doing.
Right, because I was like, I just can't let it end like that. I can't. But yes. But yes, so it is what it is. Sorry, guys, but hopefully you've gotten this far in the show, and hopefully soon when you do hear us again, we will be talking about Cosmic Fury. Hopefully.
Pray
But if
it.
not, then we'll be talking about other stuff that happens aside from Cosmic Fury. So yay! But once again, my name is Brandon.
My name is Lena.
And my name is Will.
And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.